Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's the final season of Atlanta, episode 1 entitled The Most Atlanta. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. Security alarms go off like crazy at a local mall as looters take their fill. Darius strolls in and ignores it all, walking in with an air fryer to return to customer service. Even the employee is shocked. He's requesting such a thing now. Darius doesn't have the receipt, but wants to know if he can exchange the item for something else. The employee appears to help him at first as he scans the item and opens up the register. But it's all a decoy for the employee to steal the money and run. Darius walks to the entrance and there's a white woman in a wheelchair, blocking the door, telling people to stop. They are stealing. She would rather die than to let them take things. Everyone ignores her and walks around. Some even grab fire extinguishers to pour out on her, and they all disperse after the white woman waves around a small knife. Darius still sees the woman staring at him, chasing after him with such minimal speed that he can walk away from her. There's terrible traffic and Darius catches up with Al. He says, "I told you I would be able to go into the store, come out, and you would still be in traffic. What's wrong?" Al just heard that Blue Blood just died. He's been dead for a few months and no one knows how. His manager put out a statement. They sit and reminisce how Blue Blood used to give secret shows with clues that he placed on Tumblr. It was the last of an era. As Al speaks, Darius notices the white woman from the store is going down the street in her wheelchair. Al wants to go to the airport and maybe Jamaica to just get away. Darius notes that the weed there and the movie Shotas is overrated. They listen to Blue Blood to remember his vibes, and Darius can't do the traffic and would rather leave on foot. As soon as he gets out of the car, the white woman swings her knife, hardly missing him. Ern and Van go to Atlantic Station to get her phone fixed, or possibly a new one. Ern then runs into someone he knows named Kenya. It's been a while, and she just wanted to say hello. While in the phone store, Ern sees someone else he knows. Van is a little jealous as she questions if that's another girlfriend. Ern says no, it's someone he knew years ago and he can't believe that she even recognized him so far away. Calling the kettle black, someone remembers Van. They went to a Kid Ink concert. She can't believe he still works at the same cell phone store, as that concert was over 10 years ago. Al notices a fan in the street vlogging saying he's from BET and that Paperboy is his friend. Al can't take it anymore and goes to the nearest exit, and encounters get more strange by the minute. As Al gets gas, he listens to Blue Blood, and there's a lyric about if he dies, he wants D&D barbecue and a zoo pie as his last meal while thinking of suicide, which he ironically sees right across from him. He then walks in to request a zoo pie. He heard it in a song. The cook plays more Blue Blood while Al waits. It's a correlation in real life again. The lyric says, "It might go over your head like a piece of meat on the wall while I take a seat." The cook brings the zoo pie and still doesn't have any words to say. When Al opens up this so-called pie, it's just a cut open bag of Fritos with beans on the top. The container also has a double B logo with an address. An epiphany. It's a scavenger hunt. The lyrics continue, "The show must go on," and he asks the cook if it's a scavenger hunt, but he responds, "Who is Blue Blood?" Van and Ern continue to pass people that they've known and just give a CIA agent briefing of everyone that they've known or either dated in the past to just get over any questions that either one of them will ask. When they get to the parking garage, they can't even find the car and see the same woman who said hi earlier. She oddly says again, "Hi, Ern, long time no see." She's been looking for her car so long, she doesn't even know how long she's been lost. Ern wants to know what was the last movie that was playing when she got there. And she replies, "Now You See Me Too." Uh-oh, that's a long time, isn't it, huh? It's an eerie moment for Van and Ern as they leave to search for the car. Darius now has a bike while on the way to his destination, and it's dead silence, but he keeps hearing and seeing the white woman in the wheelchair. Darius has had enough. He says he isn't a looter, he doesn't know what Fox has been feeding her, but he wasn't looting and he was just returning his air fryer. He gets on higher ground and tells her to get some help. Al gets to the next location for the scavenger hunt, a swimming gym, where there are coins that lead to an arcade, that lead to a source for a reader code, a laundromat, comic book store, the movies, then a deserted shopping mall, although there is a specific suite that has life. Al is relieved when a woman asks if he's there for Blue Blood, but there's no show. Blue Blood is dead. Her name is Keisha, Gary's, aka Blue Blood's wife. The funeral setup was all her husband's idea. When he found out he was going to die, he wanted to plan a scavenger hunt and record an album. It included all things that he wanted: t-shirts, comic books, barbecue sponsorships. Only 5 people have showed up, and she's surprised that more people didn't come. He put so much into the album and just wanted people to listen. I guess you don't always get back what you give. His wife wished that he had more fun. In the end, the people who completed the scavenger hunt get a plant. Track 11 is how to take care of it. Al lets her know that her husband had a great impact on him and wants permission to approach the casket. But there isn't a body, just a prop skeleton. Gary was cremated about a month ago. Ern and Van are still in a maze of getting out of the parking garage. Their option is the stairwell, but Van doesn't want to be left behind like one of his exes. Ern reminds her that he never led her to become an ex, ever. It's a dark stairwell, but there is light at the end of the door, and they must kick it in. When they kick it in and it's open, they see Al and Keisha. Even Kenya finds some solace by following them. Al is surprised. Ern and Van rock with Blue Blood? And is that Kenya? Everyone is exhausted, so exhausted, and have even opted out to riding in the car. Darius also pops up exhausted, and he wants to leave ASAP. Kenya is now crushed, realizing that she spent all of that time in the mall and forgot to get a gift for her dad. Darius gladly gives her an air fryer, and Kenya declines a ride because her destination is only 2 minutes away. When everyone leaves, she hears a jarring sound of a wheelchair in the distance. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. You guys, we have reached the final season of Atlanta. If you guys did not see the previous season, feel free to go to the description area and click on Atlanta season 3 and binge watch. This series has such amazing writing, cinematography, color, ideas. It's just no surprise why they are Emmy nominated and Emmy winners. Absolutely great. Now, I did say in the reviews and recaps for the last season that it would be smart to end Atlanta in this season that we're currently in. And I explained not cancellation, but bringing everything to a close. This style of writing for the show, I explained, shows different cinematography and different ways of writing, whether it's symbolism, whether it's a storyline or stories that have absolutely nothing to do with the main characters, the actual storyline of the characters, and hypotheticals. And we continue to see that. This episode 1 was an amazing introduction. Now, let me point out the things that maybe you missed. Now, for this final season, we need a lot of closure. A lot of the episodes didn't directly deal with the characters, so a lot of people called this show weird. Oh, I don't get that. That's weird. What does this have to do with this? And what does it have to do with Al? What does this have to do with Ern? This is stupid because they use a lot of symbolism. Now, for this episode 1, they did just that. They know that they only have 30 minutes, which is also equivalent to 26 minutes when you talk about commercials. So to be able to wrap all of that up in 26 minutes, maybe a little less than that, is very difficult. So the craft of writing is getting all of that into a short amount of time. Now, you do have a little bit more wiggle room if it was 1 hour, but it's not a 1 hour show. It's also the beautiful craft in the show Insecure, which was on HBO. If you want to watch that series, make sure that you go to the playlist and watch that as well. Many people were like, this is only 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, but you got everything that you needed in 30 minutes, which is excellent writing. So let's start off with Darius. Okay, so in the history of horror, right? When it comes to horror films, when we talk about the villain, what makes a villain scarier is a villain that's coming at you slowly. Okay, at first we see with Darius, okay, and some good horror movie examples. We have Jason sometimes, right, that walks, slower. He does his power walking, Mike Myers. We also have the traditional zombie films when there's just one, or maybe they're walking slowly. The fear doesn't succumb you as much. You feel like you have a little bit more wiggle room. You can kind of take your time. You can walk. You don't even take the villain too seriously because you feel like you have this empowerment that I can even walk away, which is what Darius does, okay, when he sees the woman in the wheelchair. She's like, we're like, oh, what's she gonna do, right? What is she gonna do in this wheelchair going 0.000 miles an hour after Darius, who could just probably take off running, but he doesn't even need to run. He walks away. So it's this symbolism of Darius. Darius has always been the character that I've always said that I feel is the only character that is truly happy. Now, he's a whirling dervish. He's all over the place. He discovers things. He doesn't have a true path, but he's content with that. He's content with taking risks. He's content with being happy of who he is. He walks into a looting process, being honest and being tranquil, thinking that he can just make an exchange with customer service. He's that much of a zen of himself, right? When he gets out of the car after speaking with Al, then we have the frightening horror of it. And even before she comes, she's slowly going down the street. Now the fear comes. How did this woman catch up to me, right? It's the patience and the perseverance of her, i.e. horror villain, that they have the confidence that they will catch up with you. Because in the mindset of a horror film is your mind will go in all these different directions and you will lose focus, which is getting away from the villain. You've let all of this time pass you, and now the fear has caught up with you. The fear in Darius's eyes when he saw her in the street was like, whoa, this is serious. So in symbolism for Darius, it can mean several things. It can mean, is this a wake-up call of Darius slacking, Darius not having a true path, and now things are sort of catching up with him because everyone around them are developing their past, right? They're developing and facing their fears. We don't know what Darius has done. Now let's get to Al. When it comes to this, the symbolism with Al, the whole plot of what I think in this episode is lost. Lost, and you're feeling lost. What are you going to do with it? Al is faced with the symbolisms of career. Al is minding his own business. He gets more and more frustrated with fans and people being around him. The kind of happiness that he thought he would find from being famous we saw in the previous season, it wasn't everything it was cracked up to be. The money is cool, but when it comes to the art, when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to his love for it, he started to dig deeper. In this episode, we have Blue Blood. He's really crushed that somebody with so much talent is gone. They've passed away. And he gets this epiphany of a scavenger hunt. So now there's hope again, right? There's hope again that maybe if I do this scavenger hunt, he's very dedicated that maybe if he's alive, then I have this redemption, okay? He goes through the whole process. He goes through the scavenger hunt. He has the confidence that he'll find it. He's listening and he's focused. Something that he hasn't done with his music in a while, right? He learns that from this character, from this person, Blue Blood, that life is short. His wife is saying that her husband always used to say, I'm doing this for the culture. I'm putting all this effort in. And not that many people showed up during his final wishes, which was a scavenger hunt, and not that many people paid attention to the album. And she says that he looked at the art, he did all of this, but I wish he would have had more fun. I wish he would have did that, but he can't, right? He can't do that anymore because he's gone. So now for Al, it's what's next? What do I do? What is my story? If I were to go tomorrow, What will people remember of me? And he's reflecting that, right? And the symbolism of seeing his friends at the end is a relief for him. They've banged through this door. Somebody that he trusts, which is Al. He has comfort in seeing Van. He has comfort in seeing Darius. So he's coming to the realization of, what do I do next? This episode was absolutely perfect for Van and Earn. Now, for those of you who have never been to this mall in Atlanta, let me tell you something. If you have never been to Atlantic Station, oh my gosh, this episode did an amazing job of bringing some comedic relief in this feeling of being lost once again in this big old mall. I mean, it is huge. Now, I'm from Dallas, and we have a few malls that can be a little confusing, but not like that, okay? Not like Atlantic, okay? Not like this, not like Atlanta Station. It is so much going on. So when you lose your focus and you don't know where you are, you do feel like you have this continuous lost. How do we get out of here? The joke of clearly she's been in there since now, now you see me, which was early 2000s, right? Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Okay, that was so old, insinuating that she's been lost for that many years. So let's get to the symbolisms of relationships and growth. As they're in the mall, they're seeing people, which Atlanta is very small. So seeing somebody, and Georgia is small. Seeing somebody at the mall that you know is highly likely if you grew up there, right? So them seeing past relationships and lovers, not only are they getting agitated by it, but even Van says, wow, we went to that concert and that was over 10 years ago and he's doing the same thing. What's funny is that employee can say the same thing about her. How much growth has she had? It's easy to critique someone from the outside looking in about how much growth they've done. It's also an epiphany that it's been 10 years and Earn has made progress. We've seen from the previous seasons from walking and taking the bus. Now he's driving, right? He's feeling super confident, I'll put you on the schedule so I can bring you up to the mall and get your phone. It's this confidence of Earn that we did not see in previous seasons, okay? But their relationship needs clarity and they're open to it, right? They're open to it. If you want to talk about growth and you feel like you're not moving, what the old Southern saying, if you feel like you haven't gotten anywhere in life, if you feel like you haven't had any movement, look back, right? Look back at everything that's happened before. If you feel like there's no progression, then it's time to get moving, right? So let's talk about protection. When it came to protection, Van lets Earn take more of a lead. He's leading them to the garage, right? He's taking the authority. He's also saying, man, I found this stairway and I'm going to have to bust through it. And now she's saying, are you going to leave me here with your other exes? And Earn makes it known that it wasn't me that ended things. It's this epiphany for Van. It's also showing that communication and openness. They were such in a desperate moment to get the heck out of there. They were like, I've been with this person, that's a relationship, we used to date. They just landed all out on the line, just putting all of the cards on the table. That's what you do in a relationship. Everything with each character and what they experienced in this episode is foreshadowing, okay? And also, the end pivotal moment for them is they got through it together. They got through it together. They're realizing that they want each other. Van showing a little jealousy, saying, oh, is that one of your little girlfriends? And then the guy coming to her into the AT&T store, he's looking at her with the little jealousy, who's this? So it's feelings there. It's still something there. They've just had all of these distractions in life that haven't allowed them to focus on each other. Now let's talk about what to expect for the rest of the season. And I want to give my predictions. And my prediction for the finalization of this show, and I always do it in episode 1 just to prove that I can analyze very well. So when we get to the end of the season, I want to see if I was right. So with life, I don't think it's going to be this hold hands, skip down the road, Disney happy ending. But I think that it'll give us an idea of hopes for certain characters. I feel like Darius will finally understand that he needs to have a path of his own because he's been leaning on Al for so long. Maybe they might tap into how they met because that's a mystery as well, right? Also, that Al will realize that maybe he has artistry and love for art, but maybe rap isn't it. With Earn, He's talking about career, and he's learning that he's a good manager, but is that what he really wanted to do? He had conflicts in the previous season, getting frustrated with Al, with all of the demands. So I think with that, at the end of the day, I honestly feel that he wants to revamp things with Van, that he wants to be a family, that he wants to have her and Lottie and move forward and develop themselves together. I think he's going to have the epiphany that, Van, you had my back all of these years. You let me follow my dream. Now it's time for you to do you, because she hasn't had a chance to do that because she's been full-time mommy. So I think that's what's going to happen with that. You guys let me know what you think. Subscribe, hit that like button, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also, check out other series, Bell Collective, a reality television show. A reality show that benchmarks and notices some of the top Black women in Jackson, Mississippi, how they are entrepreneurs and making good money. Also, check out Ready to Love Miami, a reality show dating show. There's so much more to watch. Stay tuned for the next season of The Handmaid's Tale, the Hulu original series, and so much more. Check out the prequel of Game of Thrones. It's the House of Dragons, right? Okay, on HBO. It's all coming soon. You guys just max and relax. Check it out. And in the meantime, in between time, take care of yourself and each other. Stay tuned for Atlanta, episode 2.